Well, let me now get a quick reaction from Dr. Mukisa Kitui, the immediate former UNCTAD Secretary General and, dare I say, a 2022 presidential aspirant. Dr. Kitui, thanks so much for making time for us this evening.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm sure you followed that story. We're getting another loan from the IMF, 257 billion Kenya shillings or so. There's an online petition on change.org asking IMF to recall the loan. Over 200,000 endorsements from Kenyans. Dr. Kitui, would you sign that petition, joining those who want IMF to cancel the loan?
I can understand the reason why they are raising that petition, but I will not sign it.
Why?
One important reason. If you do not get the IMF loan, you are going to the commercial markets for a Eurobond 4, which has a larger cost and cannot be rescheduled, unlike the IMF one. If by signing a petition for IMF not to give us money, we're guaranteed we're not going to borrow, that will be a different story from blocking concessionary money and then going to the commercial markets like government is likely to do. But there's another thing. I think since this money is tied to COVID mitigation, let government not be opaque on how it manages, it utilizes this money.
Do you get the sense that government is opaque?
Let it be in the public discourse about what are the best ways to intervene. Let us agree a certain percentage is going to procure more vaccines, a certain percentage is going to mitigate the cost that families are bearing to keeping their dear ones in hospitals because of COVID. Let some of it go into helicopter money for the most vulnerable. It should be public discourse, not just a declaration, we are going to make things better.
You understand why Kenyans feel the way they feel. That's how you actually began. Let me give you some numbers here. Last year, our public debt ballooned by more than 1 trillion Kenya shillings. Between March 2020 and March 2021, actually, it said it's Kenya's worst term in terms of borrowing. How do you reconcile that? Do we need to take all that money? I have for some time been a very, very consistent advocate for living within our means. Our appetite for debt is not sustainable. I agree with the president that it's important to emphasize capital investments, but I disagree that that's what has been happening. There's a substantial component even of the Eurobond 3, which went into recurrent expenditure. You cannot borrow money with interest to pay for recurrent expenditure where there's no interest. So we're just passing the can to the next generation. My generation has no right to burden the next generation with unsustainable debt in the name of national development. In 10 seconds, is that petition futile?
I think it is not going to get very far, but I think as a statement of public outrage about irresponsible borrowing, it is making a point.
It is making a point in your view. Dr. Mukisa Kitui, we've got so much more to talk about, and we'll be getting to that shortly. Let's take that